As you know, today is the election day in the UK, and I'm making this video because I feel there is a strong need for the modern day conservative to express his views publicly, openly, without fear. And if you look at social media these days, it's flooded with stuff from the Labour Party, from the left-wing supporters, and whatever they say against the Conservatives or the right-wing supporters, it's okay. But if you're a Conservative and you say anything against the Labour Party, suddenly you're labelled as a fascist, a racist, or some awful thing. I've had these discussions with so many people over the many years where people keep saying that you're a Conservative, therefore you believe in X, Y, Z. So people make assumptions of what a Conservative is without asking a Conservative what their views are. And then whatever you say, you're put into that box of right-wing, capitalist. Now, my conservatism has always been there, and I am proud to say that I'm a conservative, but I'm also very well aware of the society we live in and the requirement and the need for socialism. For example, I'm one person. I can only buy 10, 15, 20 suits. I can only eat 3 meals a day. So it doesn't matter how much money I have, the trickle-down effect doesn't work. So the tailor would only make 20 suits. The cook would only make 3 meals a day. If there were 100 people in a job like mine or similar, and the wealth was evenly distributed, you would have 2,000 suits being made and 300 meals a day being cooked, which means that the money will be evenly distributed. I don't think any of the modern day conservatives want to live in a castle and be surrounded by a moat, because we live in a society, and I don't want to live in a mansion and go out of my mansion and find out that there are homeless people out on the street, because we live in a society and we can only be happy if the whole society is collectively happy. I still very strongly believe that you should be rewarded for your capabilities and skills, because society and human nature and God or universe or whatever you believe in has not created us all equal. And I keep saying this over and over again in my videos. Why would one person work 10 times as hard if the other one is not doing anything and yet getting all the rewards and benefits exactly the same way? China, Russia, so many countries in South America, wherever you've seen socialism that has proliferated and expanded and became communism, it's never worked. People flee those countries and come to the capitalist countries because it rewards them for their success, for their hard work. Yes, there shouldn't be a massive difference between the salaries or compensations, but there should be a decent enough separation. So if you're working extra hard, or if you're smarter, all of these things that people say, well, you were privileged. First of all, I was never privileged. I will make another video about my life, and I think I've talked about this before, where I come from a very, very poor background. For the first 10 years of my life, I didn't even have decent clothes or food or anything. So anyone who says that you can't make it because you came from an underprivileged background, well, it's bullshit. Because when I give this example to people in real life, they say, oh, but you're smart, you managed to do this. Well, I am not physically very strong. I am not very healthy in terms of my internals. I'm not very good looking. I'm just average in so many ways. So if I have a brain that's better, maybe I worked on it. Maybe I worked hard. Just like a blind person's hearing is better and other senses are better, when you don't have physical strength, your brain and other things compensate for it. But I still believe that it's all about your own capabilities, your desire. Yes, there are some people who are unfortunate who may not have the brain and may not have any skills or physical abilities, so yes, we should help them. But there is a degree to which you can help people, because if you keep helping them forever, then they just become lazy. And we have tons and tons of examples of those in the UK where people live off welfare and they don't want to work because they don't need to. They get everything that they want. There are people who come from other countries who come to the UK because the welfare system is great. So the trouble is, we have expanded our social system in a way that has crippled some of the people. So if someone has a disability or inability to do something, definitely help. But don't take it so far that they just don't need to do anything. The other thing I see around me all the time is there's so many people who come from abroad who don't speak English, who learn the language, who learn the skills, and they make a life for themselves in the UK when there are so many people, a lot of them are Labour voters, who are just sitting on their ass doing nothing, and they keep complaining and moaning. They have never lived in a poor third world country, so they don't really know what it means not to have food and water or shelter or a clean toilet. So I think there's a massive group of these people who are utterly spoiled and they've had it really easy, so therefore they're moaning about it. The biggest question I keep asking all these Labour voters is, okay, you believe in socialism so much and you have the capacity to get a £100,000 job, yet you have a £30,000 job because you don't believe in capitalism. How about you do the £100,000 job and keep the 30,000 that you need and give away the 70,000? Give me some examples. So the modern day conservative is not the same as the old, and I'm one of those. I am a conservative. I have been and will always be, and I always vote conservative because conservatism is about being realistic. It's about preserving our tradition, our values, our culture, and making sure that we help people who need help rather than just opening it up to everyone in a way that it destroys and demolishes our society. I made another video where I said we should create universal income and we should have free services like electricity, gas, water, internet. I'm a capitalist, but I believe that these basic things should be free. UK produces 110% of the electricity that we need, so we have 10% surplus. Yet electricity is so expensive. The government and everyone keeps saying stop using fossil fuel, don't use gas, use electricity. But electricity is more expensive than gas, therefore people use gas. All of these contradictions and all these bullshit things are created by politicians just to stay in power. I don't think that our democracy will work, and it isn't working, and the current system is just diabolical. You cannot have a say in everything. Brexit is an example. You give it to the masses and they will fight each other over it until the cows come home and never make a decision. So you have to do certain things. I mean, when you go to a doctor, you don't say, oh, give me all the options and then let me make a decision what I think is best. You let the doctor decide what's best for you. It's because he's an expert. So we should put experts in the position of power who obviously need to be controlled in some manner. And I have made a separate video about how democracy should be changed. I'll link all these videos. I don't think anyone watches this. That's the biggest problem. When I look at my YouTube stats, when I make a video about a car or a camera, it gets thousands of views. When I make a video that is helping the world or helping people, it gets a few hundred views. So in reality, when you say 3% of the population is wealthy and 97% isn't, it's true. My YouTube stats prove it. Only 3% of the people watch the good stuff. 97% of them just watch stuff that they can't have and wish they will, and they never will, because They're not spending their time working hard to achieve it. They just think one day they'll win the lottery and somehow it will fall on their lap. Nothing fell on my lap. I have worked very, very hard to achieve whatever I have, and it's not much. So I just thought I should make this video because it's election day and I'm inundated with posts on social media from the left-wing party about all this bullshit that they are selling, and in reality they're just a bunch of spoiled brats who have had it very easy. They're young, they don't really know what they want or what it means to survive on this planet. They just, I don't even want to say the words because it'll just piss more people off. And that's the trouble these days. If you say anything, if it's not politically correct, it may be the right thing to say, but if it's not in line with the populist rhetoric, then you're wrong. One last thing I'd like to say to close this off is, when you say conservative and you use the word fascist, think again, educate yourself a little, because right-wing parties are not fascists. There are no typical examples in history of that. The biggest fascists came from socialism and people's parties. Stalin, who killed 20 million people, came from the masses, the people. Hitler came from the people. The brown suits were ordinary people. How he manipulated those people, it happens every time. China, another example of communism, doesn't work. Unfortunately, it's all socialism, communism, and then it becomes fascism because the state controls everything and a few people become extremely powerful. Whereas if you spread the power and if you spread the money, then capitalism, in good balance, of course. Great Britain, I think, has achieved the right balance between capitalism and socialism. If you go to America, it's too much capitalism and it's a mess. So I hope someone watches this, and if it's of some use to anyone, and for those of you who send me those 5-page emails or make comments with lots of rants, if you have something to say, please make a video and tag me and then tell me what you have to say. Hiding behind a computer and typing words where no one knows your face and what you're saying, it's very easy. All I have to do is click a delete button and that's it. And your stuff is gone. And this is what I do because I'm not interested in hearing, this is my space in the social media. I'm saying what I think. If you have something to say, make your channel, publish a video, give me a counter argument, but don't type. I'm not going to read it, I'm just going to delete it. So I hope I'm not going to annoy my regular viewers, but I think my regular viewers are very smart because the kind of comments and messages I get from them is the reason I keep making these videos. So thanks for watching. Bye.